Here to have that discussion is the athletic director from San Diego State. Jim Sterk returns to the Scott and BR Show. Good morning, Jim.
Scott and BR, thanks for having me on, and thanks for having me not follow Scrubbo, okay?
Yes, you're very welcome.
Thanks.
Scrubbo is an interesting character. He has certainly brought with him a lot of reaction this morning.
Right.
Okay.
Jim, a lot of things we want to talk about this morning.
All right.
First of all, what a great job by Coach Fisher, his staff, and the players of being able to quickly get over the BYU thing, get on the road, and get a win last night.
Yeah, Coach Fisher, he's done a great job of managing the players and the team throughout this. Both on the highs and the lows, and I think he's definitely a veteran coach. He's been there before, and I think it really shows.
Jim, one of the things we were talking about yesterday was that last night's game was a must-win. If they would have been emotionally drained and somehow gotten upset last night, that would have really, really hurt. Would you agree?
Yeah, it would hurt. It wasn't a do or die game, but it was a must win from the standpoint of get back on track and not allow the season to slip away, the great season that slipped away, and not slip in the seedings for the NCAA. And
right.
We're still number 4 in the RPI, and that's what they don't look at the polls when they're seeding teams, and I think that's very important for us to continue to win. Finish as high as we can in the RPI and position ourselves for that great seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And this last game coming up against Colorado State, this is a team that has to win. I mean, they are not going to make the tournament if they come in here and lose.
Yeah, they've been battling everybody tough, and so they tried to knock off BYU and played them tough. They'll be, I think, loaded for bear when they come into Viejas.
All right, Jim Sterk, the athletic director from San Diego State, is with us. So because last night's game was so big, we had this question, and we don't know the athletic director business. You're going to have to help us with this. It was reported yesterday that most Mountain West teams, I don't know if this is accurate or not, would charter into Laramie, Wyoming. Is that accurate?
I think I don't know of all of them. I know that some do, yes.
Isn't there a time to consider spending the extra money and getting the guys chartered into Laramie as opposed to the tough travel conditions that they had to face going up there?
Yeah, I think, going into this year, we were facing a deficit situation, looking at all of our revenues and expenses and trying to figure it out. We dropped 25 individuals and 12 part-time staff people from our department, and so there was a lot of things that you'd like to do, but you couldn't. And as this season progressed, we're able to address our deficit situation. But looking ahead, it looks like we're going to be facing somewhere between a $1.5 and $2.5 million cut from state support for this coming year. And so what we've done is we're interested in supporting our teams and making sure that they can compete at the highest level. As we started a Basketball Excellence Fund, we've done that for football. And for the coming year, we would like to do that for certain games, like when you go to Wyoming, when it's a midweek game. It takes 3 days, when you do it commercially, and so those are things that we need to address. We couldn't do it as we looked at it this year. We looked at it, but it was somewhere. If you did for both men's and women's, which you need to, it's about $120,000.
Really? Why do you? I don't mean to sound sexist, but I want to ask this question. Why do you have to do it for the women?
It's a Title IX issue, and if you're going to do something for the men, you need to do the same thing, and otherwise, you could potentially be looking at a lawsuit or something like that could come at you.
Are because they don't get much coverage, are the San Diego State women's team on the verge of a 1, 2, 3 seed in the women's NCAA tournament?
Doesn't make a difference.
Interesting.
So Title IX.
See, I didn't know this. This is why we said we had to have this discussion with you. We don't because
and also there's a Cal now. There was a lawsuit some years ago where our department has looked at where we need to match, not only from a Title IX standpoint, we need to match the revenues or the expenses that we spend on our men's team have to match the undergraduate population percentage, and we're 57%, 58% female, 42% male, and our athletics department operations need to match that in grant and aid, in operational dollars, and participation. So that's why we have 6 men's teams, and we're adding a 13th team with women's lacrosse.
See, this is what I said yesterday, Billy Ray. Don't know anything about being an athletic director at a school. Don't know anything about the business.
Your hands are tied.
Yeah, you don't. And these are the things. Right. See, Jim, I thought it would be as easy as this. Look, we got a men's basketball team here that's on the verge of doing something special. To fly to Denver and bus to Laramie is a total headache. Why can't we just spend 50 or 60 grand to get these guys back and forth quickly, easily, and in first-class mode? And now you're explaining the answer.
Yeah, and we did look at it. If it would have been $60,000, we thought we could go around to our director's cabinet, to our alumni, and get that kind of support. But really, it turned into $120,000, and as I looked at it, that's too large a number for that type of situation. But we do want to look at it in the future and look at men's and women's, especially those midweek games where the kids are gone for 3 days. When they need to be in class, and it's a difficult time. So I'd like to do that in the future, and we're going to be trying to raise money to do that.
Well, you know what? In addition to trying to raise money, somebody in the marketing department has to try and consider putting a deal together with one of these private jet companies.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
NetJets.
No, exactly. And we've done some things, and I've done some things in the past with other, with an airline, and maybe you get part of it as a marketing deal where they cut it down. But with gas prices going the way they are, we could be in trouble.
No, well, what you do is you caravan a bunch of Priuses all the way to Laramie.
Really?
You never stop.
Oh, really?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
What would that be? 14 hours?
Well, it doesn't matter. It would only cost $25.
And the leg room is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, we're talking to Jim Sterk, the athletic director at San Diego State. Here's another business athletic director question for you. Tell us if you can help us with this one. Watched the game last night on the Mountain, as I have many games this season. I don't know if you'll, well, maybe you won't want to publicly agree with this. The telecast is not good on a variety of levels. And it doesn't take a TV executive to watch what CBS did for you on Saturday, right, Jim?
Right.
Versus what the Mountain did for you last night. Here's my question. Do the athletic directors within the conference get together and say, how can we collectively combine our opinions to make our network better?
Yes, and actually my first full meeting last May, that was a hot topic, was the Mountain and CBS College and our TV agreements, and we spent quite a few hours on that, and it has continued to be. And we're actually, President Weber and I are meeting with Time Warner executives this Friday about increasing the distribution in North County and Orange County, and I think because of the success of our programs, I think people are putting pressure on Time Warner and wanting to the Mountain covered. The other part of it is making it a better broadcast, and the Mountain was not designed to replace ESPN. It was replaced. It was started to kind of take care of local deals. And what we need to look at is how do we better our top end tier, and that has been Versus, and now Versus has been Comcast has purchased NBC, and I think they're going to turn Versus into an